Hi guys, welcome back to another hi, welcome back to another video. I'm so fucking unhinged. Anyways, hi guys, I'm 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓-𝟐. Welcome to the VA fam. If you're new, like and subscribe. Do me a favor, because we're at 200 fucking subscribers. That means 200 of you are unemployed and watch my videos. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoy my fucking content. That makes me so happy. I'm glad you guys enjoy my content. Other than that, hi. You guys have been waiting for this video. Here it is in the flesh. Part 3. In the Is this 3? This might be part 3. I don't. No, this is 2. This is gonna be a short series. Why? Because this has only been 2 parts. I seriously gotta find longer books for these videos. Just like my Sally Face series being my only last one, which I'm going to do another Sally Face book. But I'm gonna do a drumroll please. Been Drowned book. That's gonna be before my Sally Face book, but look out for that. That's gonna be a new series, whatever. Watch out for that. Anyways. Yeah, guys, you guys have been waiting for this. Countless of you guys have been waiting for this. I made a poll about it. Guys, I'm gonna post soon. Cuphead part 2J. Where is it? And I'm joking. No one said that just yet. No one has hunted me down yet. But I made a post about it not too long ago. It's coming out whenever it's coming out. I don't know when this intro is gonna be filmed. I don't know, dude. Whenever this drops, it drops. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I love you guys bunches, VA fam. You guys are amazing. I'm back. I'm better. I'm staying A. Thank you to my boyfriend who doesn't maybe watches my video, but thank you to him who gives me the closure and the confidence, and my friends to do these videos and to keep going. And I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm glad that my videos make so many of you happy and makes you smile, makes you laugh, that, you know, I just don't have to read to you guys. I can stutter, I can fuck up, and you'll still follow the story. You enjoy my yapping, my oblivious shock, how some of these stories go. And just, I'm glad that people like my voice acting. You guys enjoy the stories, and you guys, you just love it here, and I fucking love you guys. You guys are brilliant and amazing. Thank you for 200 subscribers. I hope one day to hit 1K subscribers, and to keep doing that, I'm gonna keep thriving. Remember, you guys always follow your dreams, and I'm grateful. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. It was so much fun. No one knows how many times I've recorded 100 times, because I either fucked up on chapters, or I really don't cross out my mistakes when I record, so I leave it in, because it's, I like my genuine shock when I'm reading. And I love you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a short ass series, but I'm glad you guys love this series so much, and I hope you guys continue to love the series I do. Now, with that being said, your favorite unemployed teen is out. That before I say, school is starting very soon for me, so posts might be a little shaky, and I'm just gonna go back to my posting on a Saturday, because that's what I usually do, and it's what I did. Depending on, I also do have a boyfriend now, better healthy, but he works occasionally, and I'm a clingy hoe, so I like to stay around him a lot. So it's gonna be hard for me to post sometimes on a Saturday if he's off, because I want to spend those days with him, because as I said, I spend my every waking moment with that man. But other than that, yeah, school's starting for me really soon. Not next week, but the week after next week. I have open house. Gotta get my hair done. I got a lot of shit to do, and I don't know when I'm getting my hair done just yet. So yeah, bear with me. Posts are gonna be coming. Things are gonna happen. I have a gotcha channel too. I'm gonna be posting for that too. So as I said, just give me time to get my shit together and to do what I gotta do, and videos would be out in a snap for you guys who just genuinely love my videos. And I'm glad again that I make so many of you happy. And someone told me as of recently that a friend suggested me and that they loved my videos, and I just love the comments that you guys give me. The keep going, you're doing amazing, I love your content, you make me smile, you make me laugh at blah 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 part, I love blah blah blah. I just love when you guys leave parts that you laughed at the most, or things you related to, or when you answer my dumb fucking questions. I love you guys. JVI. Not me fumbling my name. That's fucking crazy. But anyways, I love you guys. Mwah. Enjoy this long-awaited video. You guys deserve this, VA fam. I'm JVA or Coffin VA. I'm out. Enjoy. All right, loves. You know the drill. Let's get this started. Sit back, relax, and grab some snacks. Chapter 14. Anonymous Acts. Cuphead and Whinen, could you sing True Colors from Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick? You know what? I'm gonna start a little challenge or a war in the comic session. If you know what movie that song is from, or like not what that song is from, well, yeah, that makes sense. What movie that song is from, the name of the movie that song is from, what year what this song is from, not what year the song's from, what year that the movie's from, with that song in it, then you'll get a shout out plus a pinned comment. I don't even know if you can pin comments on YouTube anymore. Well, I usually heart everyone's comment whenever they comment, but you'll get a shout out next video if you can guess what year the movie came out, the name of the movie, what scene the song was playing in the back of, or whatever they were singing, what situation, I don't know, and your favorite character from the movie. If you just know what movie it's from, then I'll still like your comment, but you won't get a shout out. It'll be the first person whoever comments it. So yeah, name of the movie, what year it came out, favorite character from the movie, what scene it basically played in the back of. Well, not played in the back of, more like sung. Then you'll get a shout out and a pinned comment and a like. And if you just know the name of the movie and you don't watch it, but you're aware that the movie is, you're aware the song is in the movie, then you get a liked comment. Get a like comment. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna start a war in the comments. You're welcome. Have fun. It's hard to take courage in a world full of people you can lose sight of. Cuphead and Whinen were reading over the lyrics. Mugman was snickering at them. This is the crap they want us to sing? Couldn't you chose something less snappy? Cuphead said while Whinen was confused on why the Anonymous wanted them to sing it. Wait, what's happening over here? Wheezy questioned. Cuphead and Whinen are gonna sing for us, Mugman replies to them. Mugman! Whinen yelled at Mugs. No, we weren't gonna. They even got a song request, Mug said, still continuing. Wait, no, they got cut off again. Psst, come on, love bird, sing for us then, Mr. Wheezy yelled. What? No, Cup said with a blush on his face. Whinen covered their face with both their hands. Yay, Mug and Whinen are gonna sing for us, Ming cheered, trying not to laugh. We weren't gonna. Mug, Cup had tried, but failed. I'm just gonna call Cuphead Cups for the rest of this video. It gets tiring trying to pronounce his goddamn full name. We're sticking with Cups for Cuphead, Mugs for Mugman. I do not feel like pronouncing their whole entire names. Anyways, and it better be good, Dot ordered. Please don't. We never said we'll do it, they said, blushing. Oh, sorry, I misheard, Mug said, still grinning while Whinen was about to kill Mugs, but Cups held him back. Anonymous asks, Dice, have you ever tried to protect, defend, or at least stick up for Whinen or one of the boys on the job? If you have, what was the incident? Answer. Believe me when I say this. My protection is the least thing the boys need. But every now and then, I have to step in to stop Wheezy or Hocus from making a scene, or starting a fight with them. Bad for business. As for Moonshine, even though they're old enough to defend themselves, Dad, I still have the need to protect them. And I'm grateful for it, Dad, but you don't have to do it all the time. Whinen popped in, trying to hug their dad, but King Dice pushed them away. Well, Whinen, I still have to do it. Whinen just pouted, while their dad chuckled. I'm sorry, Moonshine. I worry a lot, he said sarcastically, while making Whinen laugh quietly. And King Dice is gonna get called Dice. I don't feel like pronouncing his full name either. And the devil is just devil, so I have nothing to worry about. Anyways. And also, that's not it. There's always a demon or a goon out there that wants to take on the bros. that got in their grasp. They want to take on the brothers in their grasp. Everyone wants to take on the two souls that fought the devil and won, Dice added. 𝐻𝐼 continued. Most of them are rather surprised when they finally meet the two, so sometimes Dad or I have to be the ones that stop them from saying yes to something so stupid to save everyone the trouble. They never really notice what me and Dad are doing, so it's probably best to stay like that, 𝐻𝐼 explained, hugging their dad. Dice nodded and hugged back. Anonymous X. Now's my chance. Cuphead, Mugman, 𝐻𝐼. Have you ever gone on a date with anyone, and did you enjoy the person's company? Neither of us been on a date. Cuphead cuts off Mugman. I actually said their names without stuttering, so maybe I can say their full names and I don't have to cut it short. Okay, guys, I believe in me. Prayers in the chat. I can say their names fully, but I'm still gonna stick to Cup and Mugs if I stutter again on their names. Which is a little disappointing for our big age. Mugman said. Really? I would just call it an achievement, Cuphead said. 𝐻𝐼 knows that Cups was joking, but they just nodded. Wait, Mugs, 𝐻𝐼 said while the two boys looked at them. Don't you have a thing for 𝐻𝐼 was cut off by Mugs. Okay, move on, next question. Mugs suddenly yelled with a blush on his face, slamming his hands on the table while Cuphead and 𝐻𝐼 was surprised by the sudden jump. But 𝐻𝐼 notices and chuckles, and Cup just shook his head. Anonymous X. Hello, Cup and Mugs and 𝐻𝐼. What is your favorite kind of food and drinks? Both non-alcoholic and alcoholic, if you drink. Which I think you do. That's honestly kind of a hard question. There's a lot to choose from, but I guess there's this bakery down the road that's got the best stuff, especially the pretzels. They're pretty good. And of course, Cuphead showed them a bottle of whiskey. I don't know what to choose. There's so much. Well, I like whatever your favorite restaurant is, which is, you know, I like Golden Corral. Favorite restaurant. You guys comment down below your favorite restaurant and favorite type of drink. I like Golden Corral. As in, like, favorite drink. But this is favorite food, not restaurant, so this would be my favorite food is chicken Alfredo, and I kind of like Sprite occasionally. That's also good. Anyways, and wine. I like being classy. It's good, 𝐻𝐼 said. I can't really decide, but alright. I don't mean to advertise or anything, but the casino serves this gourmet steak and salad. I've tried it once, but it's like probably one of the best things I ever drunk and ate. I guess I like hot chocolate and, well, water. It's the only really healthy thing around, and I also really like some of the casino's cocktails, Mug said. While Cuphead and 𝐻𝐼 are in the background, Cuphead's holding a bottle of gin and pointing it at him. Though with alcohol, I really don't pick favorites. I lay low off of it. Mugman said. Cuphead and 𝐻𝐼 are both still pointing the bottle a bit faster. Anonymous asks, Hey Cup, Rose, and 𝐻𝐼. Have you ever experienced being the victim of a prank from the other casino staffs? Answer. I guess you can call them pranks, but to me, they're just straight out flat murder attempts, Cuphead said. Occasionally, someone will try to trip over the brothers or run at them with a chainsaw. They don't do it as much. Probably afraid I'll turn the tables on them. Cuphead cracked his knuckles. Actually, they're afraid of making 𝐻𝐼 or King Dice mad. Mugman deadpanned while 𝐻𝐼 nodded. Wow. Anonymous asks, King Dice, do you consider the Cubros brothers are just annoying employees? Friends? Mugman asked. Nuisances. King Dice said annoyed. Sworn enemies! Cuphead yelled in the background. Family. 𝐻𝐼 said, smiling at the three from afar. Anonymous asked, what's the meanest thing you guys have done since working at the casino? Not taking soul contracts, I hope. Or conning people out of their money. Looking at you, Cuphead and Mugs and 𝐻𝐼. Ya ain't innocent. Answer. Psst, I wish. Cuphead laughed. If only, but as far as I know, Dad takes care of the contracts and conning people out of their money. 𝐻𝐼 answered. We're still waiters, but, you know, there's a lot of Cuphead's pranks, Mugman said. And 𝐻𝐼 said the last part together. Hey, they're your pranks too, Mugs. I won't forget that one, Cuphead said, trying to defend himself. 𝐻𝐼 shook their head, and Mugs rolled his eyes. Anonymous asks, Cubros and 𝐻𝐼, if you could travel back in time in any place in your life, why would you travel there and where? Answer. Well, that's hard to say. Mugman, where should we even go? Cups asked. I would like to go back in time where I spent my childhood being with my dad or my father, being along with my books, even though I was emotionless. Wynon said, smiling, recalling the memories, and laughed because Cane Dice called them. Well, way back to be young and dumb again, Mug said. You talk like some old guy. We're still young, Gramps. Cuphead joked. Yeah, you are old as hell. I'm just young. Mugman said back. Okay, wow, thanks, smart ass. Cuphead yelled sarcastically while he looked offended. Whatever. I would go back to... whoa. Oh, yeah, anyways. I was there, okay. Whatever. I would go back to when we freed everyone and had that huge celebration, Cup said. Oh, yeah. Everyone got together that day. Oh, yeah. Everyone got together. Even Cal and Beardy Beard got along for the day, Mug recalled. Huh. Is that far back enough for you, wise guy? Cuphead teased. Yeah, far back enough. Back to the woods. Back to Etterkeldle and Chala. Anonymous and asked, not answer. But on a dead serious note, I want to know how the devil became, well, a devil? Also devil, you rad as hell. Inside, I was always the devil. It's just sometimes I keep my mouth shut, and other times I didn't. Chapter 15. Anonymous acts. Quick, Cuphead and Mugman, Devil and Wynon. Favorite color, number. 7 in red. Cuphead panicked a bit on how to answer that question. Isn't that obvious? I like blue, which I thought was obvious. Of course. Mugman looked at them confused. Gee, slow down there. What's the rush? Surprising to no one. My favorite color is purple. The royal kind. If I'll give you my favorite numbers, I might accidentally give away the secret best bets, Cane Dice said calmly. Meanwhile, Wynon and the devil. Whoa, calm down there. Lovely. Sounds like you're about to get murdered. Well, I guess whatever your favorite color is, and whatever your favorite color / number is, comment below, Wynon said. Not Wynon said, but I said. You get the point. Slow down. Are you being chased or something? You know, I've had plenty of millennials think about it. Still couldn't really decide. I'll guess the color of gold. As for the number... The devil and Wynon noticed the cup rose. Peeping from around the hall, not thinking much of it, he gave his answer. 25. No! Cuphead yelled. Yes! He didn't say 66. I win! Mugman cheered. White Cuphead, what is your favorite number? Is it that or something? The devil smirked at the cup bro's misery while Wynon just chuckled. It's supposed to be 66. Why isn't it 66? Cuphead yelled. Anonymous asks, how many of you guys... how are you guys? How many pranks did Cuphead do for April Fools? To Mugman and Wynon and Cuphead. Answer. Well, alright. I think I'm busy now. And I'm fine, but I'm alright. Mug said. Wynon nodded. They put me on cleaning duty for the entire day. They hoped it would keep me from pranks. Cuphead crossed his arms. Oh, they hoped. I lost count how many times you did. Anonymous asks, what's the best task and the worst task you've done at the casino? Worst task? Mugman thought. Cleaning duty, Cuphead said. I pretty much agree, Mugman said. But the best task? Let me tell you, it was a hell of a task, Cuphead said. Turns out, there's much to being a waiter in the Devil's Casino than we thought, Mugman said. What do you expect when you first walked in the place? Wynon says, walking over to them with bottles of wine and whiskey to put away. Anonymous asks, to Cuphead and Mugman and Wynon, what would happen if one of you got sick? Would one of you take the day off to care for the other, or would they cover for your shift? Cuphead, I can't work 2 shifts. I can hardly even work my own life, Cuphead said. Alright, guess I'll make sure to never get sick. Though, if we got sick, wouldn't Wynon or Devil just heal us with like black magic or something? Cuphead asked. Yeah, my powers don't work like that, and I doubted. He would just probably send you guys back home if any of y'all even got sick, Wynon said. But you know, if you ever got sick, I don't still think I could leave you out of sight, Mugman said. What, you think me, wrapped in a blanket, thermometer in mouth, boiling tea, would run off and cause havoc? Actually think I bet I could, Cuphead said. Of course, Mug said sarcastically, but then looked back at Wynon. Wait, Yin, what happened when you get sick? Yin hesitated to answer because it was chaotic when they were sick. Well, let's just say things happen. The two cup bros was confused and didn't want to ask anymore. Anonymous asks, does Devil and King Dice and Yin know used to be an angel? If so, what did they think about it or say about it? They know regrettably, well-known fact, as there isn't much to say on it except shit happens, or at least they assumed I wanted to be one. They didn't assume I wanted to be one, the devil said, and then Yin came in the room and hugged the devil by surprise. I don't regret nothing that you told me, father. I love you, Yin said, which surprised the devil, since they never said it to him, but he took it and hugged them. Anonymous asked, hey King Dice, do you have any family? If so, do you miss them? Hey King Dice, what's your cousin like? Is she a dice too? Mr. King Dice, what do you mean by your cousin was being a good liar for your sake? Answer, well, I had family, yes. Most of them are probably off burning in hell. And that's nothing new, because the thing in my relatives weren't the kind of people you would miss. You know what? Family doesn't stop at relatives. The devil cheered his drink with the devils. Dice cheered his drink with the devils, along with other staff members sitting beside them. Answer 2. Well, damn, I've definitely been a while back since I've been thinking about it this far back. She was a kind and timid Dice. Minnie was her name, Dice said. Answer 3. I mean, if it wasn't for many times she's lied at gunpoint to get me out of many messes got myself into, yours truly here would have ended up with a bullet in his head at the age of 8. And even if many times when I promised her I would pay her back, I never did. Alright, that's enough strolls down memory lane. I've lost how many drinks I've had. Well, now, I didn't expect you to be mopping the bar. What's that smell of yours? Did you lose a game of cards? Dice placed his glass down with Jack, seated beside him at the bar. Funny you mentioned that. I think I left it with your rags in the gutter after your game. Oh, too soon, Jack mocked. It hasn't been a second there, and they're already fighting amongst each other. Yin crossed her arms and whispered to Devil, and Devil just nodded. Devil didn't... Whoa. Honestly, I don't think Devil will like them. Oh, guys, you guys are gonna hate this one. Yin didn't like Jake, since he always flirted with them, and let me remind you that he is 38, guys, and Yin is 19 years old. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. Certified lover boy, certified pedophile, trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. Okay, let me stop. Put him in the cell with Daddy. Okay, anyways. But then they spotted Yin with the devil and got the nerve to walk up to them. Oh, hey there, doll. I just been wondering when I get to see your handsome and beautiful face again. Jack kissed the back of Ynen's hand. Yin pulled her hand away quickly, I would have too, and looked at him with disgust by his actions. Did he in hell? How did you get there, Diddy? Anyways, I can't be making that joke. With that mouse, I'm surprised boss haven't sent you to hell yet, but here you are, still alive. Yin said, death glaring the disgusting man. Enough, you three, the devil said sternly. Yes, boss, both Dice and Jake said, while Yin nodded but ran up to Dice and gave them a side hug, which Dice gladly accepted. At the devil's office, Devil was sitting on his throne while King Dice and Yin was on the right side of him. It was silent, but the devil spoke up. So, what brings you here anyway, Jack? The devil questioned. What, I can't come by and visit my old pals? Jake asked playfully, and he winks at Yin, who was just thinking of ways to kill him. Have I been saying Jack this whole time instead of Jake? I'm gonna kill myself if I play this back and I hear Jack and not Jake. Oh my god. Ah! Okay, anyways. Even though I don't believe those words, Devil said with no emotion, while Dice and Yin didn't look amused at all. Well, I guess I came by to deposit some contacts for you, boss. The city's underworld sure does have its supply of souls ready to sign, Jake said. This seems to be a little of what happened to the rest, King Dice said. Most of them didn't want to pay. Had no other way, Jake said, which caused Yin to look a little worried, but they tried to hide it best they could. You didn't kill them, you dick. Jack. Wait a goddamn minute. That no wonder the creator keeps putting Jack and then Jake. Is their name Jack or Jake? Like, come on, bro. Oh my god, this is pissing me off. Okay, you know what? We're gonna call him Jack. We're just gonna say Jake. You know, fuck you, Jake. This is the creator. This comic is old. Okay, I can't be mad. This whole story is old. I don't know what year it was made. You know, maybe the creator, it's okay. It's just a misspelling. We all do it sometimes. It's okay. Give this goddamn creator Grammarly, please. All right, let me stop. Jack said, which caused YNN to look a little worried. You didn't kill them, you did. Jack cut YNN off with a bit of laughter. Kill them? No. I wanted them to get a taste of what hell was like. But what can you expect from the devil's left-hand man? Jake said. He opened his jacket, and all YNN could see were those helpless souls crawling from his body. They looked frightened and disgusted, but still trying to keep their composure while �K put his armor on them to provide some comfort. After the meeting, Jack left the three family alone at the office in an awkward silence, but YNN spoke up. When are we gonna kill him? YNN said, looking at their father with no emotion at all. Literally, he's a disgusting man who tries to hurt dad, and also your soon-to-be husband, YNN said, which caused Dice and Devil to blush a lot. YNN, Dice, and Devil said at the same time, as they blushed like crazy. Ship. YNN looked at their parents like they were dumb, but chuckled. Is it true though? Whatever it is makes you happy. I'll leave you both alone to make out or something. I'm going to Cups and Mugs to sleep at their place for the night. Love you, dads, they said, walking to the door and shutting it. Then they left. Chapter 16. Anonymous asks, how does YNN and Mugs feel about Cup being a fucking idiot? We manage, Mug said. YNN and Mug said at the same time, before walking away, before turning around to add on to the anonymous. Not add on, but speak to them. And don't call him that, YNN said with a glare, while Muggs nodded. Only we can do that, Mug continued, and he nodded, glaring at the annoyance. Anonymous asked, does any part of the crew know Jelly the Octopus? Who the fuck is Jelly the Octopus? Can someone tell me that? I haven't played Cuphead in like a year now, maybe a few years from now. I just got myself back into things like this, so yeah, someone tell me who the fuck Jelly the Octopus is, and is he a game in Cup? Is he a game? Game J? Okay, sorry, I'm crashing out, I'm tweaking out on myself. Character in the game. Or is it just like a character made for the book? All right, anyways, moving on. There was a bunch of confused faces from the crew's faces, and they just shrugged. With the Cut Bros and YNN. I don't recall that fella. Jelly! Oh, Jelly! Cuphead said. Wait, I think I remember now, YNN said. Yeah, you do? Yeah, well, kind of, YNN said. Beardy Beard just told me about how one day he was walking around his deck when something dropped out from the sky. At first he thought it was an alien, but it turned out to be what he called a weird-looking jellyfish with the clown makeup, YNN said. His name is Jelly, and he lives on an airship in the sky, out of which he fell right on Captain's ship. They kept him as a prisoner for a while, but they were showing him around the sea town, just apparently he's never been down on Earth before. Cuphead looked at YNN and just nodded. Wow, you knew that whole thing? Yeah, I did. Well, maybe they should get in touch with the Skies, Hilda and Grimm. They know the Skies well, and maybe they know about the airship. Yep, Cup said. Wow, the world we live in, YNN said. Mm-hmm. Cups agreed. Anonymous asks, you two ever wondered what it would be like to be conjoined twins? I know these two girls who went through something similar. Answer, like Pip and Dot? Cuphead asks, that would be really weird. Cuphead cut off Mugs. An inconvenience, things are usually harder for twins. Most die at birth, Mugs said. But how would that even work? How do we drag each other around? Cuphead questioned. Though honestly, I get dragged into your shenanigans all the time, so that part wouldn't even change, Mug said. True. Cuphead said with a proud grin. Anonymous asks, hey Devil, do you have any hobbies or interests? Hey Devil, has it ever appeared to you that someone has tripped on your tail or walked on it by mistake? Answer.
Over many years I've existed. I might as well pick up and drop a lot of hobbies. Used to be an insane into choreography, but the internet doesn't stay with me all the time. Including some hobbies include torture, of course, I'm the devil, gambling, which I do almost occasionally, music. I like K-pop Demon Hunters. Up, up, up with our moment. Anyways, I also like various pretty things and collecting things and eating. Devil said. I added on the K-pop Demon Hunter thing, guys, okay? I just want it to be funny. I know I'm not funny. Fucking dislike and unsubscribe. I don't know. Oh, yes. I then flugged him over across the room by mistake. The devil grinned, smoking his cigar.
Whinen popped out of nowhere. Well, I did that once and you didn't throw me, Whinen said, looking at the devil. Devil looked at Whinen. Well, because Dice was there to protect you, and you were 6 years old. You didn't know any better. Whinen was offended that the devil would throw them, but shrugged and left and said, Dad is my favorite person now. Devil was caught off guard. No, wait. He was trying to stop Whinen, but they left anyway. Anonymous question. For the King Dice, or Dicey. Have you ever used violence against a visitor other than the Cut Bros? Answer. Because before I was manager, yes. Every now and then a troublemaker would show up and start a drunk argument or a shootout. Nowadays, I don't have to get my hands dirty. Leave that to the bouncers, King Dice said. Anonymous asks, fave time of the day for the main five? Answer, I don't know, whenever my shift ends, Cuphead said. I prefer maybe whatever your favorite time of day is and what your favorite time to end off is. I personally like the nighttime because I'm a night owl, and I'm also midnight is my favorite time. I don't know, it's just where I thrive the most. You know, I just like that. Comment on your favorite time. For me, I like late evenings, maybe even around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Mug said, putting his index finger under his chin. Oh yeah, you always stay up. That's so relatable, Mugs. Cuphead says, pointing at Mug. Hey, I'm a night owl. What can I say? It's why I like the night shift more. Plus, the casino's just better at night, Mug said. Whinen nodded. Yeah, and I have to go on the night shift with you, out of all people, Cuphead groaned. For once, I get to drag you into something, Mug said. Yeah, work, out of all things. Insufferable. Actually, you know what time I like? Early in the morning, just 6 a.m., when the sun's just up and hardly anyone's awake, Cuphead said. The morning. Really? Mugman said while Whinen chuckled. Meanwhile, with Dice and Devil. Personally, I prefer the night over the day, or at least the late evening, when everyone's in the city, which itself looks better at night. Finishes work, gamblers are over in the casino to gamble and get drunk to forget the day, King Dice said. Time works a little differently down here in the lower deeper pits of hell, but right up here, let's just say from midnight up until the day itself. Down here, it really doesn't make a difference, the devil says. Anonymous asks, King Dice, when did you start working at the casino? What did you do? Have you ever made cocktails? Answer, well, I started working here about 6 years ago as a dealer, but I would also find myself at the stage or helping at the bar, and yes, I've made cocktails and other beverages. Long before I even worked here, King Dice saw Cuphead behind the bar, trying to make cocktails, but he stopped him. Cuphead, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong, King Dice said. Wait, what? How? Cubs asked. Anonymous asks. Hey, Debs, I don't know why I called you that, but do you and Dice do it for fun? With just the two of you? Or do you hang out at all? Nope. Completely, strictly professional, King Dice said.
Absolutely on business. And only on business. Devil agreed.
That's right. They both were seated at a dinner table, which looked like they were on a date.
Actually, you know what? I think I'll have this one, King Dice said, looking at a menu.
Yeah, professional bullshit.
Whinen popped up beside their table and slammed their heads on the table. Language, Dice warned Whinen, who just looked offended about it, but let it go. Sorry, Dad, but can I stay here with you guys? If not, it's alright. They said, asking Devil. Devil nodded, making Whinen and Dice happy. I'm so happy. Free food. Anonymous asks, is the devil a crybaby? As far as I know, everyone else in this casino is concerned. Yes, he is a crybaby, Mugman said. Could you? Devil got cut off. When he was defeated, Cuphead said. Maybe not. Out of the years I've been dealing with him, you were very correct about that, Cup. Don't. Under the menacing interior, like you wouldn't even believe it. King Dice added. Attack me like this. Oh, wow. Cuphead laughed. Mugman laughed nervously. So this is how it is. Sorry, boss. Dice said. Sorry, father. Just so you know, I have the power in this room to kill everyone. They all tried to hide their laughter inside. I have the power to hurt you. Hurl you into the sun if I wanted to, Devil said, trying not to cry. Oh, come on. Have no shame in it, Mugman said while trying to calm the devil down. Oh, come here, Dice. Put the devil... Oh, come here, King. Ugh, stutter. Oh, come here, King Dice said, putting the devil in his arms, cradling him to calm down, while Wynon snuggled on his chest to make him feel better. Sorry, Bustle Boss, Cuphead said, trying to die down from the laughter. I have the power to... Grumble, grumble. Devil started to cry again. No shame, no need for murder, Wynon said smoothly, also giggling as they hugged their dad. Chapter 17. Anonymous Acts. So, school just went back into session. What is our main 5 options of school? Do they enjoy it? Already hate most of my year. So, Mr. Devil, is there any room in hell at all? Answer. All of them are sitting at the table playing cards. Well, did any of us even go to school? Mugman piped up. Me and Mugs never did, Cuphead said. Nope. King Dice said, resting his head on his hand. Never, Wynon said, laying on top of Cuphead's arm. Not really, Devil said. Apparently it sucks, Cuphead added. It can be. You know, sometimes we use school scenarios on sinners down in hell, Devil stated. Really? Wynon and the Cup Bros said. Yep, for people it's absolute torture. Speaking of which, of course there's room in hell. What kind of separate internal dimension do you think you're dealing with? Devil said. Hang on, where are we? Cuphead questioned, while looking at Wynon, who didn't know either. Though, I used to wish I could go to school, King Dice said. Yeah, me too, Mugman said. No, thanks. I heard it was boring, being in the same room for 1 hour or 3 with unfortunately uncomfortable chairs. That is so real. This is the first time I agree with Wynon in a book in forever. I hate school. But my friends make it bearable, and sometimes the teachers also do make it bearable. I think school is awesome. It just depends on the people. The people makes the experience. Not to sound wise and shit, but you know, people makes the experience. Sometimes teachers, it really just depends on the people around you, honestly. I like to say. How come you never went? Mugman asked Wynon and Dice. My parents never bothered signing me up, never gave me an education at all. They said I wasn't worth spending money on. Because for some reason, Wynon has daddy and mommy issues in almost every story. I noticed that pattern. Couldn't afford it, and besides, school was deemed useless in my family, King Dice answered. Wynon nodded. Oh yeah, we couldn't afford it either, and it would be too long to travel from the woods every day, Mug said. How our parents make traveling from school sound like, I swear to God. We had to walk through the forests and the trees and the bees in Egypt to get to school. Sure you did. You literally just walked. It wasn't even that bad. You walked, dude. They be trying to make us feel bad. They be trying to guilt trip us. See. Anyways. I'm kind of glad, though. School sounds boring. You're forced to sit in a room and listen and write all day. Waste of childhood if you ask me, Cuphead said. Agreed, Wynon said. Yeah, you wouldn't enjoy it, Devil said, making Wynon chuckle. Personally, I disagree with the schooling system. You should be free to run around, take on the world, free of restraint on a remote island for a year. Then we could see who really survives. And that's what education should be. Devil grinned. Devil, Cuphead said. Satan, Mug said. Boss, Dice said. Dad, Wynon said. Early Halloween. Alright, guys. What are you guys going to be for Halloween this year? Because that is right around the corner, actually. So, what are you guys? Oh my god. Yawn. What are you guys going to be for Halloween this year? This is for the main 5. I don't know if you could celebrate Halloween, but if you could choose a costume, what would it be? Answer. Well, yeah, we celebrate Halloween. We used to go trick-or-treating all the time, Cuphead said excitedly. We're a little too old to be doing it now, though, don't you think? Mugman applied. No way. Halloween's for everyone. You're just too old for it, Cuphead said. Remember how we would come up with entire plans for trick-or-treating prank on people who didn't give us candy? Cuphead added. Oh yeah, I always secretly were hoping that they wouldn't give us anything so I could do my dirty work, Mug said. Hey, I'm curious, did you two ever go trick-or-treating? He asked Wynon and King Dice. Of course I remember, but I kept asking about it and begging for Dad and Father to take me out. But what it seemed like, but for punishment, they only let me eat 2 pieces of candy per day, and it kind of made my day though. I knew it. If we said no, you would just stop talking to us or never come out of your room for the whole week. Sometimes, if I could, it would be one of the only times of the year when I would be able to get any sweets, King Dice said. Really? If I dress up now, I would dress as an evil mad scientist. I could borrow Dr. Cole's jacket, Mugman whispered the last part. Oh, that would be cool in reality. It's just being yourself. I would dress up as whatever your favorite Halloween character is, and honestly, if I could, I would dress up as Harley Quinn, because I freaking love Harley Quinn. Or Tiffany, the Bride of Chucky. Those just sound like good ones. Personally, that's just me, chat, but you know. Wouldn't be too different from reality. I would dress up as a demon. Cuphead crossed his arms. What about you? Wynon asked King Dice. Well, most people in the casino wouldn't bother to dress up, either a demon or even in a uniform. But I think I can adapt to my suit into something fitting, something classy. He was thinking of a vampire, making Wynon chuckle. You appropriating my kind? The devil said mockingly, looking at Cuphead, making Wynon look at them. What? No. Cuphead looked nervous. I went trick-or-treating sometimes as the devil. You know, for fun. Cups, why? Mug said, why not? But I went trick-or-treating sometimes as well, the devil said, surprising Cuphead. Wait, really? Cuphead questioned. Yeah, I would go up and say boo. They scream, drop everything, and I would get more than just candy. Hey, have you ever dressed up for Halloween, or do you just not, since you know you're Satan and all? Of course not. Not even on Hallows Eve. I used to dress up as a priestess and such, the devil said. A priestess? Cuphead said in surprise. Perfect for messing around with people, don't you agree? He said proudly. Cool. Cuphead said, still looking surprised. Anonymous asked. Also, favorite type of candy? Answer. Everything and anything, Cuphead said, throwing his hands in the air and making Wynon laugh, but they also did the same thing and threw their hands up in the air, whatever your favorite candy is. And mine is Skittles. I love Skittles. Skittles are so magically delicious. Okay. Anyways. This is our choice. I really can't decide, Mugman muttered. Dark chocolate for me, King Dice answered. Actually, you know what? Same for me, but just milk chocolate. I agree with that. I don't like black chocolate. It tastes nasty to me. Black liquor. The devil crossed his arms, smiling. Changed my answer. Anything and everything except that. I agree with that. Licorice is also disgusting. Cuphead said, putting his finger up. I mean, okay, I guess. Wynon shrugged. Hey, Dice, let me kiss you. I'll give you my soul. Answer. Alright, I'll be honest, this one kinda scares me. He said, walking out of the room and looking creeped out. So does the devil and Wynon. Folks these days are weird. Not only would you want to kiss my father, but Wynon was cut off by the devil, putting his furry hand on Wynon's mouth, and the devil was blushing. Anonymous acts. King Dice, would you be willing to rate your employees from least to most favorite? Answer. I don't play favorites with my crew, mind you. King Dice said, putting his hand on his chest. Liar, it's me, Wynon said proudly, making Dice chuckle. You don't count, Moonshine, he says, making Wynon sad. Then who? Wynon asked. Then Dice whispered to Wynon's ear. And if you and the devil, King Dice whispered, making Wynon happy again and hug him. Meanwhile, with the Cut Bros and the crew. Some of the crew stood around a chalkboard, but Mugman wrote on, trying to see who King Dice's favorite was. My calculations should be accurate. According to my calculation,
situation. Okay, anyways. I ain't at the bottom. You sure this is accurate? Wheezy said. It's my favorite vision supposed to help this again, Mugstain asked. It's not accurate at all. We should be at the top. The devil loves us, Pippin Dot said. Why are you guys so ignorant to find it out? Honestly. I have no clue, Wynan says, coming in the room. Anonymous asks, Cuphead, Mugman, what do you know about the potion Elder Kettle gave you? Does the one that give you those strange abilities like that? Answer. Oh boy, Mugs, you gonna do your thing? Cuphead smirked. According to my calculations, that potion that Elder Kettle... Okay, get serious. The potion that Elder Kettle gave us, the potion that granted us the power to shoot and blast out of our fingertips, the power to resurrect the dead, and power to cross the internal plane to become invincible as well. Unleash our souls, Mugman said dramatically. Which have 6-packs, Cuphead shouted. But what is the story behind this potion, and how does it worn off? Is it they're supposed to bring it back? He slammed papers on his desk. Time skip after explaining because the creator didn't feel like doing that. There's so much we don't know, so much to find out, Cuphead said, holding the little fella. They pointed to Cuphead to leave the room, so they did, leaving Mugman alone. Where did the potion's power actually come from? How was it made? Surely the powers in power and restraint souls don't come from nowhere. The only creatures that know would naturally have powers are the devil and the demons themselves. And if not demons, then who? Mugman paused for a second. Anonymous asks, Mugs, I heard Calamari kissed you on the cheek. Yes? Yeah, she did. But it was a long time ago. Mugman said, blushing. Aw, so cute. Wynan teased Mugs. Shut up, Wynan. Mugs yelled out, blushing. Then Cuphead popped out. It was a way of her saying thank you from saving her from literal eternal hell. But read it what you will, I guess. Anonymous asks, Hey, Mr. Dice, how would you react if you had a son or daughter? I'm right here, and I'm quite literally his only child, Wynan said. Well, you're not my child biologically, but how on earth would I have a... Dice got interrupted by his thoughts, looking nervous. Should I use protection? Cuphead shouted at him, making Dice and Devil turn to him. Cuphead, what the hell? Wynan said. Anonymous asks, Hey, Mistress Devil, do you have any devils in hell? Answer. He was a bit speechless on why the Anonymous said Mistress Devil, but he thought, I don't get it. Are you trying to make a running gag or something? Whatever. Favorite devils? Let's see. Who pisses me off the least? He whispered the last part to himself. Let's go with Lilith. He shrugged, smiling, making Wynan pop out of nowhere. Wait, where is she? Wynan said, making the devil look at her. No. Why? Devil asked. Because I miss her, Wynan said. Anonymous asked, Dear Mistress Devil, allow me to explain the joke. It's because Dice is literally the one wearing the pants in the relationship. Sincerely, the nudiest accusation of Inkwell. Answer. The devil looked like he was going to throw a flip, which he did. Oh, what? You want me to wear pants now? Is that what you want? Pants? The devil yelled, King Dice. The devil yelled, and King Dice and Wynan are laughing at him. No. With all due respect, boss, a popular belief, not all places are very keen of seeing you with your ass hanging out. King Dice laughed. Holy voice change for King Dice, but Why not? I have a glorious ass. You agree, you know I do. He said, which made them both laugh even harder. He stopped realizing what he said while Wynan was dying of laughter. King Dice was blushing and laughing at the same time. Whatever, you're not putting pants on me, nudiest accusation of Inkwell. Your dreams are the only place where you'll see pants on me. That sounded kind of weird. Yeah, that did sound kind of fucking weird, Dad. Wynan said while Dice wheezed and the devil blushed a bit. Anyways, I'm banning pants in the casino now, he said, leaving the table. Wait, what? Dice chuckled while Wynan was trying to hold their laughter. Everyone take off your pants, he shouted. Oh boy. Wynan pinched the bridge of their nose. Anyone wearing fucking pants will be forced to fucking eat them. You hear me? Someone stop him, King Dice said, covering his face while Wynan broke out of laughter. Anonymous asked, So you guys, what is your next prank going to be, and who will you pull it on? Answer. I've been wanting to do one on Dice, but I can't think of anything good enough, Cuphead said, rubbing his chin. Mugman frowns at him. Of course. Seriously, brother, give the pranks a rest, Mugman said. Besides, you don't have to worry about that. I already have a bunch of faces on the side of his head. He held up a black marker. Yes, Mugs! Anonymous asks, 𝐿, where did you get your suits? As you can see, what Mugman said before was true. He successfully drawn all over the devil's head. Dice's head, not the devil's. The demon tailors at the casino make them, he said. One of the demons covered their mouth with their hands to avoid laughing at him, while YNN didn't want to say anything and just stood there trying to figure out who did it before they spoke up. Mr. Dice, you got something on your head there. He looked at YNN and the demon, confused on why they were laughing. Just here. The demon headed into a mirror. He took it and rotated his head, seeing the jawling faces, looking back at YNN. Moonlight? Could you please go to the person? I'm gonna deal with this red cup. YNN saw their dad faced. Oh, I am so done. So they left to go see Mugs and then heard, Cuphead! King Dice shouted at from the top of the room, and so they stopped and followed Dice. Shit, what happened now? Cuphead whispered. Care to explain? King Dice said, showing the size of his face while YNN went to Mugs, who stopped cleaning the dish and looked up at the situation. Oh, that wasn't me. That was actually Mugman, he said, pointing his thumb at Mugs. Oh no, Cuphead, don't you dare pin this on me. No, 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 no. Cups, do not expect me to get you out of this one, like you always do. Mugs shouted while covering YNN's ears, knowing they hated loud noises, and was standing there confused. Wait, Mugs, but... Cuphead got cut off. I'm done rescuing you, Mug said. You actual... Cuphead was cut off. Take responsibility for your actions for once. Mugman placed a hand on his hip and the other on YNN's shoulder. Look who's talking! Alright, enough of this. My office now. King Dice grabbed the handle of his head and pulled him out of the room. Wait, no, I'm telling the truth for once. Mugs, tell him, YNN, at least help me! Cuphead yelled. YNN was scared and confused, but then realized that it was Mugs who did it, so they avoid Cuphead's gaze, which he felt betrayed. I swear I'm gonna make you do nothing but clean bathrooms for the entire year, Dice said, dragging Cuphead. Mugs. Did you perhaps do that? Mugs gave a sinister grin, and YNN gave a shrug with no emotion. Cuphead stood there, gaped open, looking betrayed. After that... You did it, didn't you? YNN said, looking at Mugs. Gasp. Yes, I did. Mugman said with a proud smile, while YNN chuckled. You know he's gonna get me and you back for not helping him, YNN said, drinking their wine. Oh, he can try, Mugman said, making YNN chuckle. So, you and Cups, Mug said, making YNN blush. I don't know if he likes me like that, YNN said, blushing, seeing Mugman blushing. Mugman smirks. Oh, God. But, you know, you and Kala, YNN shot back, making Mugs blush. Shut up. Mug stuttered, making YNN juggled. Now we're even. Anonymous asks, so, King Dice, your new eyes let you see a person's soul. Is it like, right? What do you see if you look at the devil? Well, someone did their homework. Yes, a bonus of contact. I assigned to become a manager. Yes, that I would be given the eyes that used to belong to a demon, granting me the power to look inside someone's souls. Can't see anything, of course. Mostly just their most guilty desires. It's more than just enough to make the job easier and much more interesting. And well, I'll admit, one day curiosity got the better of me, and I thought, what if I took a glance at the devil himself? And well, honestly, I wasn't even surprised. He didn't have a soul. So when I decided to look, King Dice paused and looked at the devil. I saw him looking back. Anonymous asks to the devil, why did you open a casino in the first place? It's a good way to lure and prey. At the time like this, plenty of bastards want a place to be as greedy and as unlawful as their soul desires. And I, generous as can be, am willing to give it to him. The devil said, putting his arms on his chest. Besides, who doesn't like seeing what hundreds of mortals are willing to do to take their chances to me? It helps take my mind off other things, devil said. Anonymous asks, Dice, why did you ever went to the casino in the first place? And do you still like it there? Why did I go to the casino? King Dice asked himself. Well, I made a deal. I didn't know exactly or have a choice not to go. Of course, back then, I thought it would be terrible. I thought I was be giving the maximum meat for the demons working under the monstrous devil. But no, I was the dealer, and the devil turned out to be more than just a boss hiring employees in his own way. And if you play your cards right, you'll learn to love the place. I did, and hell, I fixed the place up. It was tasteless before I showed up, for which you're welcome, by the way. Dice said the last part to the devil. The devil shrugged his shoulders. Oh, what would I do without you? Devil said. He totally saved your business, and please just get married already. Lioness said teasingly, but they got boinked in the head. Ow! Lioness said, scratching the back of their head. Cuphead and Mugman and Wynette. How do all the bosses get along nowadays? Especially Dr. Cole, Wally, Phantom Express, Beardy Beard, etc. What happened to them? Answer. Well, we might as well be best friends with them. Cuphead shrugged. Well, most of them, Mugman said. Wally's doing alright. I think he's kind of a grunt most of the time, but his son is pretty cool. Oh yeah, turns out me and Wally Jr. read the same comic series. He always comes up with theories on how it happened, especially he's in the fiction stuff. He says the series is the main inspiration behind his studies, Mug said. I always go with Mug to visit him. He's cool, Wynette said. Nerd, Cuphead whispered, making Wynette nudge him. Ow. The Phantom Express we haven't seen in a while. They're always moving, Cuphead said. Because according to their curse, as soon as the train stops, they'll stop moving. The undead ghosts fully can move on after the afterlife. Yeah, for all we know, the train might have stopped, Mug said. Me and Beardy Beard are best buds. He tells me about his adventures and battles and treasures and everything, Cuphead exclaimed. Him and his crew are awesome, Wynette said. He's alright, I guess, Mug stuttered. Maybe one day he'll take us with him, Cuphead said excitedly, but Muggs wasn't sure. Dr. Cole and I am a big fan of his work, let me tell ya, Mug said. Well, yeah, me too, Wynette said. I like a few of his wires are a bit screwed. I think his robot, though, Cuphead said. He actually let me and Wynette be his assistant for a while. I got to learn so many things, Mug said. Wynette nodded. It was really cool. You mean he let you and Wynette be his Rugrats, Mug said. I practically had to rescue them and Muggs before he turned Muggs into some Frankenstein monster, Cuphead said. He was only helping with some tests, Mugman said defeated. Wynette nodded. If I wanted to be saved, Wynette said, going up the cup's face to face, 2 inches closer, then I'll call you, but I can take care of myself, Wynette said with a smile, walking out to see King Dice or Devil. But as soon as that, Cuphead was blushing like a mess. He wasn't so used to Wynette being so confident, and them being so close to his face. While Mugman is confused, but had a smirk on his face. Anonymous asks, Devil doesn't really wear clothes, does he? He only wears them on special occasions. Answer. Or whenever Dice and Wynette make me, the devil said, not wanting to put on clothes. In the background, Dice and Wynette are looking through the closet. Oh, come on. Even other demons wear clothing, King Dice said. Besides, you look good in these, Wynette said, putting on an outfit. Yes, so, Devil said with a sore face. So you look handsome, Wynette said, putting on a crimson red suit. Oh, Father, look. What about this one? Wynette said. That one's perfect, darling. Dice said, I don't know why he turned country for a minute, but you know, whatever. It's okay, I guess. Devil shrugged. Anonymous asked, Mr. Wheezy, you actually tried to get along with Cuphead and Mugman? I mean, you can't be mad at them forever. Huh, can't be mad at them forever? I bet I can, Wheezy exclaimed. Well, I bet you can't, Cuphead shouted. Please don't start another fight. But they ignored him. Oh, really? What you betting? All of my salary for the next 6 months. What about you? Cuphead said. Oh yeah? I bet my entire car, Wheezy said, slamming the wood. Deal! They both shook on it. I'm gonna hate you to the end of my days. Wheezy tilted his head in anger. We're gonna be absolute besties, Cuphead shot back. Anonymous asks, King Dice, you already told Cuphead and Mugman about the meaning of diamonds and shades, but you never talked about clubs and hearts. What do they represent? I think Wynette wants to know. Answer. King Dice was just shuffling cards with Wynette, not talking, just playing with them. Wynette looked at their dad and spoke. Are you going to tell me about what hearts and clubs mean? Why do I have it? Wynette said, looking at their dad, making him look at his child in confusion, but realized what they meant. Oh,
I didn't tell you about these, didn't I? Dice said, looking at Wynan, who just nodded and went to shuffling the cards. Well, clubs are all about knowledge, thinking, invention, the future. They are communicators. They're creative, they're thinkers, they're educators, and stubborn as a mule. Dice said, smirking, while hearing Wynan chuckle, but he continues. They can be quite bullheaded, but either way, they always find ways to subvert the status quo. Well, they can change things, Dice said, making Wynan back shiver down their spine. Wow, that's cool. That's why that fits Father so much. What about hearts? Do you know about them? Wynan asked. Hearts are, Dice said, holding up a heart card in his hand. About you, except love, family, the soul, all soft schmunk. They're social, emotional, and they're living. It's pretty self-explanatory. The suit is. Just look at the symbol, Dice said closely. Dice said with green eyes, making Wynan's eyes turn gold as well. But back to the original color. After understanding what it means, Anonymous acts. Cuphead Mugman, as I cannot figure out your internal organs work. You appear to breathe through your mouth and your nose, but you don't have a neck, so where does the oxygen go? That is a great question. Does it teleport? Does it have red blood cells? I need to know. How does blood even get to your lungs somehow? Your heads are hollow, but where's your brain? I assume at least Mugman has one. What happens to food when you eat? Do you even eat? Are your eyes painted on? Answer. I'm embarrassed on behalf of the modern science. We have no clue at all. We just sort of exist and run with it, Mugman said, confused. Isn't that one of the things Dr. Cole used you and Wynan for? Cuphead asked. We weren't his... whatever. We saved those people's souls, and this is what we get, Cuphead said. Seriously, though, we have no idea. We just settle in magic. They both shrugged their shoulders. We're magical. Lots of things are magical around here, Cuphead said. I mean, sometimes for no reason at all, random objects just come to life, and usually they get a pair of eyes. We don't even know why it happens, Wynan says. Yeah, Mugstain was like that, Cuphead said. Yeah, Wynan said. It can happen anywhere. Last week, a traffic light near our apartment came to life, but it kept freaking out and messing around with a bunch of traffic for construction. The guys came and took it down, though. Yeah, what do you think they did with it afterwards? Mugman asked. Cuphead was about to answer, but no words came out of his mouth. All three of them looked concerned until Cuphead spoke. Magic. My magic, to be exact, the devil said. 19. Truth or Dare. Anonymous acts. So, this is for everyone at the casino. Have you all played Truth or Dare? If so, what are some of the craziest things you've done? Admit it, since Cuphead pranks are usually always so extreme. Do any of you get away back at him? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't say no due to a dare anyways. No, we haven't, but to mention it, they all gathered around playing Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare? What are you, children? Wheezy said. Well, no, Wheezy. We're not kids, and it's just fun, so try it. Wynan said, looking at Wheezy, who just rolled his eyes playfully. Alright, Cuphead, truth or dare? Chips asked Cuphead. Dare, Cuphead yelled. Oh boy, Mugman muttered. I dare you to go outside shirtless and sing at the top of your lungs, Chimp said, but he did it. Cuphead sung so loud, most of the staff and bartender's ears were bleeding. Boy, what you gonna say? Gate, oh boy, what you gonna gate? Later. After that, Cuphead came back inside, shirt on, with a bruised eye. Someone threw a shoe at me, Cuphead said, still dizzy. It was for a good cause, Chip said. Well then, here's another good one, because I dare you to spend the rest of the game in a flappy dress, Wynan dared Chips. They tried to hail Cuphead, and then he showed up wearing it. Howdy fellas, how do I look? He asked. Like you might bring this entire business down with just that look. Poor Lipa said, but Wynan hit him in the bone. It looks great, Wynan yelled. Take the boots off, Wheezy said. Truth or dare, Megstone? Said, going up to Chips. Dare. Come on, step it up, Chips said, hands on his hip. I dare you to kiss Wheezy. It was silent for a second. When Wheezy spoke up, no. But Chips started to run at him. Wheezy just ran away. No, Wheezy said, running. Meanwhile, with Mugs, Dice, Wynan, and poor Letha. You know, half the game won't work. Some of this just says truth, poor Letha said. Well, at least the other half is still entertaining. King Dice smiled. A kiss from Wheezy won't help his smoking edition, Lepra said. True, Wynan said, while Mugman looked at Wynan with a smirk playing on their face. Hey, Wynan, truth or dare? Mugman said, but Wynan wasn't listening, so they turned to Mugs. Huh? Wynan said, truth or dare? Mug said with a smirk. Dare? Wine said with confusion. I dare you to kiss Cuphead. For the ones asking for a kiss, here is your kiss. Mugman said, making Wine blush. I'm not gonna do that. Wine said, blushing like a mess, making Dice look at his child with a smirk, and plays along. You can't just back out on a dare now, Moonlight. Dice teased, making Wine look like a tomato. Dad, you too? You have to... Why do anyone have to do this to me? Wine muttered, but gave in. Oh, Satan, Father, where are you when I need you? And just like that, they walk over to Cuphead. Hey, Cuphead! Wine yelled. Before Cuphead finished his sentence, he was met with lips, but you let go first and ran to the table red as a tomato, and you slammed your arm with your head on the table, leaving Cuphead speechless with his cheeks crimson, touching his lips. But they carry on with the game. Meanwhile, Wine was stuck in the middle of Dice and Mugs, who just patted you, telling you did great. It was okay. But it wasn't. That was your first kiss. And it was with your crush. Oh, Satan. You would just really hope you just didn't make a fool out of yourself. Dice saw Wine in so he could try to cheer you up. So he just looked at poor Letha, which both of you nodded, looking at Mugs. Hey, Mings, truth or dare? King Dice asked him. Dare? Mug said, making Wine look up at him. Of course. Poor Letha muttered. I dare you to write a letter to Calla Marie. Finally confessing, Keen Dice got up, cutting him off. Truth, truth, truth. He quickly changed his answer. Turning red, Wine smirked. Payback time, Wine thought. Alright. What would you even say in a letter like that? Wine asked him, making him turn red, pink or blue, whatever fucking color Mugman blushes. Truth. You really do not think about it. Are you lying? I don't know what to say in a letter like that. Wyanon looks at him with their glowing eyes, trying to look into his soul. Mugman sat there not knowing how to answer, but in the background, Cuphead was on a tipsy tulip, held wheezing down, while Chips walked up to him beside them, doing dares with Mings beside him. Time skip. Hey, Cuphead. You drink demonly brum, Rosal said. Wouldn't that kill him? Pearly backs. When Cuphead drunk it, he breathed out a fire from his mouth, almost burning the entire place. He was screaming. Some looked concerned for him, and then they spoke up. You know, it's actually not that bad, Cuphead said, surprising the staff members. With a lady like her, all you want to do is... Poor Lipa continued, but Wyanon wasn't paying attention, just looking at their dad or anywhere else but then. Hey! Dice! Cuphead walked up to him excitedly. When Wyanon saw Cuphead, they slowly put their head down on the table, as you should, turned the Mugs, and Berlitha, who was talking, and Mugs taking notes. Wyanon was too embarrassed and ashamed to look up at Cups, but held the notice away, avoided him. It hurt him, but he shrugged it off like anyway. What? I'm helping save your brother's love life over here, Keen Dice replied. Truth or dare? Cuphead asked. Truth, Keen Dice said. Oh hell, like you've actually said the truth before. Still, truth, Dice said, not dodging the question, or the chance. Come on. Cuphead pursued him. Fine, you know what? Dare, Keen Dice said, changing his answer. I dare you to raise my paycheck, Cuphead said. And back to truth. Alright. Here's this, then. I dare you to spend the rest of the game with your head spun upside down, Cuphead said, which made Wyanon look up and look back at the attention of Mug and Porlitha. When Keen Dice did it, all of them held their chuckles. Well, how's this? Happy now? Keen Dice asked. Yeah. Cuphead said, trying to hold his laughter. Alright, your turn. Cuphead, Keen Dice said. Bring it. Cuphead said. Truth or dare, Cuphead? Look me in the eyes. Cuphead looked like he couldn't hold his laughter anymore. I can't. You look stupid. You did this, Cuphead. Now look me in the eyes. Dice said, leaning closer to Cuphead. Cuphead wouldn't stop laughing. Okay, shit. Dare. Cuphead said. Alright, listen up. Because I'm actually starting to feel sick, Dice said, making Wyanon feel worried for him, but he chuckles. Uh-oh. Cuphead calm down a bit. Alright, here's your dare. As you know, in the devil's office, there's a lift that goes deeper in the hell. You will use it to go down about 4 levels and then bring most of the proof back that you were there. All of them were speechless. When Cuphead went down, most of the staff members crowded around Mugstain and Wyanon and Mugs, probably because of his ability to see in the future. Where is he? Do you see him? Mugman said wearingly.
Where is he now? Wheezy asked. Has he fallen down a pit yet? Rumbless asked Mings. Is he gonna make it? Chips asked. Well, I don't know. I can't see. Mings panicked. Oh, come on, Mings. Think. Wynan said, worried about Cups. Well, we have to know if he's alright. Mings was cut off. I don't work under pressure well. Whoa, Jesus, excuse me. What the fuck was that? Can I flip my head back? Candice asked Perlita. But she just chuckled. I swear to God, it said he just a minute. I hate this goddamn book so much. Okay, anyways, I'm joking. Nuh-uh. Game's not finished. Perlita said, smirking at King Dice, who just sighed and proceeded to take a drink, but doesn't know how to due to his head being upside down. Perlita saw this and just laughed at him. Wait, I see him, Mings yelled. While a portal appeared, there stood the devil holding Cuphead walking out of it. Guys, I see him. He's really close, Mings said proudly. My proof is the devil, Cuphead said, piped up and pointing at him. The devil stood there speechless of all the chaos surrounding him, while Mings and Wynan are relieved to see he was okay. Bonus. At Cuphead room, Cuphead was lying on his bed, still thinking about the awesome day, especially the kissing part. This made Cuphead blush a bit. Jeez, Wynan, what are you doing to me? Cuphead said, touching his lips. Chapter 21, guys. Anonymous asks, does alcohol affect the devil differently, given that he's not mortal? Answer, it doesn't have much an effect on me, he said, pouring a bottle of alcohol in a glass. That's why here in hell, we make our own kind of booze, the mortal kind. To the mortals, it might as well be poison, the devil said. But then Cuphead appeared beside him, hands on his hips, looking proudly. Unless you're Cuphead, the devil said. Yep, Cuphead said. Maybe you got watered down due to better song, devil assumed. Or maybe I'm actually immortal, Cuphead said with a chuckle. You've died, like in the past, devil smirked. And came back every time, Cuphead said, pointing a finger at him. Don't get ahead of yourself. You got revived. Seriously, don't try this again. Devil muttered the last part to Cuphead, and he nodded. Anonymous asks, for the devil, do you use your goat disguise for anything? Devil, has there ever been a situation where someone lost their soul to you, but just signed the contract with someone else's signature? If so, what do you do about it? Answer 1. Yes, whenever I go outside when I want to go outside without attracting too much attention, or I want to go get the jump on someone. I use it as much as at this point it's become a part of my secondary form, the devil explained. Oh, and yes, you would be surprised how many times this happened. And all those times that have happened, they think that they're smart for trying it. But I disguise it as a contract, notices untruthful signatures, and shifts it to the correct one. As for a bonus, it cuts the false signature into whoever's arm wrote it, to make sure whoever picked the signature never happens again. It's kind of like a scar. The devil leans back into his chair. That's right, I saw people do all that. So you go, father! Wynan cheered, giving him a thumbs up. Devil smiled at them. Anonymous asks, hey, Mr. Wheezy, how did you end up in the casino? Made a deal, like most of the people here. Long story short, he would pay me, get me out of slumps, help me pay back my debt to the group of thugs that tricked me, in return, give me my soul. And I work for him. Fair deal if you ask me, Wheezy said. I'm just glad that happened. Because honestly, I wouldn't be here. But I'm glad that you're here, Wheezy. You're my very close friend. I'm thankful for you, Wynan said, smiling at him, making Wheezy's side smile them. Anonymous asks, does this might seem dumb to ask, but since King Dice and the Dish Brothers don't have necks, can they switch their heads and have each other's? Answer, thankfully, this is not how it works, King Dice said, while Wynan nodded, not Wynan, looking over at the two cut bros who already had their heads over their bodies. Okay, 3, 2, 1. The brothers said at the same time, and letting go their heads, it started falling, causing a mess, and their bodies ran headless. Wynan saw this and ran over, grabbing their heads from the ground, chasing the headless bodies to put their heads back on. If we put our heads on a body that aren't ours, it won't stay on, unless you've got good balance. All you get is a mess, Candice said, behind him, seeing the two headless bodies tripping over, while Wynan tried to fix it. Anonymous question, any fun facts about the devil? Whenever he goes deeper into hell, he automatically becomes super huge and his arms and teeth glow, Cuphead exclaimed. He likes getting his ear scratched behind the ear like a cat, Dice whispered to them. Whenever he has a bad day, he would drag me out of his room into the living room and tell me a bedtime story or something. I love it, though. Meanwhile, with Muggs and the devil, his name Devil translates in accuser or slender, while other names of this is Satan, translated into anniversary. Mugman said while looking through a dictionary explaining when the devil caught him. Are you researching me? The devil asked. No, Mugman asked, hiding the book behind his back, acting like nothing happened. Wow, Mugman, I didn't know you were obsessed with me. What? No, it's can't blame you. Look at me. That's not... Oh, come on. You probably know me and my brother's life outside of this. It's only fair I get to know stuff about you, Mugman said, trying to defend himself. Uh-huh. Sure you're not gonna get it from those books. They got so much wrong. Yeah, I figured, Mugman sighed. Don't trust anything you read, Mugshot. Actually, just don't read. It's a bit creepy, the devil said, looking weirded out. Well, now you know how I feel, Mugman said, staring at the devil. Anonymous asked for Cuphead and Mugman. What would you think would have happened if you never went to the casino? Answer. Well, I guess I would have never made that bet, Cuphead said. Which means no soul collecting, Mugman continued. Which means everyone would still be in debt. And they might have been paid it in the end, Mug said with a worry. Don't think we would have ever ran into them, Cuphead said. So it's good you guys came here, and you made that bet, otherwise they would have probably been down in hell, and if you didn't, we wouldn't have met, Wynan said, trying to make their brothers happy. Yeah, Cuphead said with a blush on his cheek, while Mug smiled with a nod. Doesn't sound that bad to me, the devil said, making Wynan and the brothers look at him. Oh, come on. If they ever come here, we wouldn't become friends, Cuphead said. You think your friendship is worth losing 21 souls? Ha! The devil laughed, sipping his cup. The three of them stared at him. Cuphead looked sad, Mugman looked bored, and Wynan just looked at him with a really dead face, but also glaring at him for making Cuphead sad. Alright, I was joking. Is that what you want to hear, huh, you little shit? Devil slammed his cup down while they stared at him teasingly. So you admit we were friends? Cuphead grinned, making Mug smirk and Wynan happy. Anonymous asked for the Cub Bros. It's an entire year, and I'm still not sure how you can just be yeeted out of existence when dead, then get yoided back in after life being slapped into you. Is it constantly just dying normal in your world, or does it not faze anyone anymore? How did it even start, actually, and why? Answer. Nah. I don't really think casual is very big and normal. Either it's being brought back to life, Cuphead said. It might as well be with all crime and violence in the streets, if you ask me. Mug said, crossing his arms. But no. We're pretty surprised that we just die and come back, but those are just the perks of the potion we had. They both smirked. Then we fought everyone, and really surprisingly as well. Did you just kill my brother? Cuphead suddenly yells. Whoop, I'm back, Mugman said jokingly, while Cuphead chuckled. Anonymous asked, Devil, what is your opinion the worst deal ever for someone to make, besides the kissing King Dice one? Answer. Devil was sitting on his throne with his paper. I don't know. That's sure a lot of dumb deals, but I've had the displeasure of coming across, Devil said, taking his eyes off the paper and then realized what the Anonymous said. And hey, Devil said, pointing at the Anonymous, you shut your mouth. I like that one, Devil said with a blush, and went back to his paper, but then Wynan popped out of nowhere. I knew it. Just get married already. Wynan yelled, making the devil blush like a mess, and glared at Wynan. What? It's true. Wynan got cut off by the devil, being pushed out the door, but then they tried to get back in. It was locked. Dang it. King Dice. Before you worked at the casino, did you or do you like it? Answer. Well, I did before working here, King Dice asked himself. What did I do before working here, King Dice said. Well, not much. Traveled a lot, from place to place, never stuck to a proper job over a few weeks, never kept out of a gang over for a few weeks, not much, the devil said with a shrug. Really? Nothing else? Mugman said, sliding a glass of alcohol, pushing one of the glasses in front of him while Wynan was resting on the table. King Dice stared at Mug suspiciously. What are you playing at? Oh, come on. I'm sure you know me and I'm pretty sure the devil in me and my brother knows you know our entire life at this point. Mug said, we're your employees. We get to know. King Dice said, leaning his head on his hand. But as friends, it would be fair if you shared some more stuff about you. Mug shrugged. Oh, come on, open up. Muggs waved his hand around while Wynan got up and joined in for the fun. Get past your fear of being vulnerable. What? Dice mumbled, completely confused, gasping at the straws here. Share your past secrets. You realize I could have just been some regular Joe who happened to come across this place, Dice said, smirking. Wynan looked at him with a really face. Animalistic. Muggs muttered. Who just happened to get stuck in the mafia, just happened to escape from several federal prisons, and just happened to get himself outlawed across the globe, Dice said. You... Say what now? Dice and Wynan said at the same time. Still not sure how to answer Dice, and still taking a sip from his drink with a confused Mug and a sleepy Wynan. Anonymous asks, Cups and Mugs and Wynan, have you ever celebrated any special occasions, for example, birthdays? Well, back then, when I was little, with no emotion, I would sometimes throw myself a little party. I'm not used to loud things and was clueless. And that's about it, Wynan said with a smile. Meanwhile, Cups and Mugs. Nah, not really. Don't think we worked here long enough for that. I wish I could get a promotion, though. Cuphead whispered the last part. But sure enough, it was to get thrown into a bank robbery. Mugman crossed his arms. Though, if there were actual special occasions, Dice and Devil told me something about a party here at the casino. I think they're gonna invite all, the leaders of hell. Wynan said, walking towards the two Cups. Really? Does this mean we'll get to meet all the big leads of hell? Cuphead said excitedly. As long as you promise not to start any fights with them, Mugman said looking at Cups. Anonymous asked, also Devil, do people become staff at the casino become mortal, or will they all die at some point? As if only, unfortunately, all mortals come here in touch with mortality, which I can't give. Things just die. Well, all of them. So no, they'll all die someday. Even Wynan will have to die. Someday. He whispered the last part. Sadly, he never wants to let go of his beloved Moonlight. Chapter 21. Anonymous asks, what was King Dice's childhood like? Answer. Wynan was at the table with Dice, but Mugman left a little while later. It was just a sleepy Wynan and King Dice with a whiskey and a bottle that Muggs left with Dice. Grumble. Is Mugman gone? King Dice asked, making Wynan nod entirely. King Dice sighed. You can sleep now, Moonshine, King Dice said, slowly making Wynan nod and fall asleep, while King Dice just looked at the Anonymous, then took out his cards. Alright. Childhood. Well, there's not much to say, really, Dice said as he used his magic that made the cars fly around Wynan and him. I grew up with my family in a bar that my parents owned and spent my entire day cleaning the place, pickpocketing, prostraining, and getting into trouble. And drunks swarmed it. Think about it. Anonymous asks, hey Dice, why didn't you like your family? Anonymous asks too. King Dice, what is your most interesting thing about your family? King Dice slammed his hand on the desk while drinking the whiskey that Muggs gave him, making Wynan wake up from the loud noise. Wynan looked at Dice with a worried look, but Dice didn't see it. Dice's eyes turned green. Alright, you want more interesting? Here's interesting, Dice said, looking crazier than ever, making Wynan concerned about what their dad is going to say. So they look up and lock the door so no one can listen to what's going on. The Dice continued. To no one's surprise, my family was obsessed with money to death. Guess the apple didn't fall far from the tree, because we're the Dices. Greedy, unlawful. Everyone in town knows if you see one of us walking, you better walk the other way, Dice said, while Wynan slowly walked over to their dad and sat back down with him, noticing that the cards did not notice that the cards swung around Wynan, making them feel safe. Wynan looked back at Dice, seeing him taking the bottle and pouring him a cup, and honestly, you can't blame the town. They feel like a hypocrite for saying this, but my parents were drunks, and just not the best people in general, Dice said, drinking his special whiskey while Wynan took the bottle away from him. Hell, rather my mom got mad at me. She stabbed a little cigarette into my arm, Dice said, making Wynan shocked and pissed about this new information. How dare she, they thought. They were mad and wanted to kill them again. And go on how she regrets stopping my dad from gambling me away when I was an infant, Dice said, making Wynan look at him with sadness. Whoa. And nothing considered, they also sold many, Dice said with anger. Dice snapped out of his magic and looked around the table with all his cards scattered around. I ran away looking for her afterwards, and about market and in my childhood. What is in this stuff? King Dice said as he read the bottle. The bottle says, basically, it's a bottle that he drank that tells, the truth or something. I don't know. Dice looked like he was done with everything, but then he felt arms around his stomach and heard sobbing in his back. He turned around to see Wayne hugging him. Crying, this got Dice feeling guilty, so he hugged Wayne and got down to the level. Oh my, I'm sorry, Moonshine. Are you alright? You heard all that, didn't you? Dice said, using his hand to clean off the tears on Wynan's cheek, while Wynan nodded. You heard the loud bang, kiddo, huh? Dice asked Wynan, nodded, and hugs Dice tightly. He patted Wynan's back. I'm okay, darling. I'm okay. Dice said, hugging Wynan. Anonymous asks, to Mugman, do you think 𝐿 was a part of the 𝐂𝐔𝐏𝐑𝐄 a long time ago? Answer, the 𝐂𝐔𝐏𝐑𝐄 existed hundreds of years ago, Mugman said, sitting by his desk with a bunch of papers and books. So probably not. He didn't know many stories about it, though. Maybe they were passed down in his family. Mugman leaned his head on the desk, looking at the book. Or maybe he just studied a lot, as I am now, Mug said. Anonymous asked, how does the ranking on demons and such work? Answer, ranking? Well, to put it simple, there's the dumb ones, the smart ones, the devil said. It works in the smart use for more power. Don't get into it. But basically, the average citizen of hell, they're either their own boss work for someone, the devil explained. Those are judges who specializes in judging souls of the demand. They always love the debate about mortals. Don't get me started on it, devil said. And punishers, those who do exactly as the name suggests, on a certain portion of sinners to punish and lower. Demons are that work for them. Devil continues, usually stuck to their preferred circle, which those are 9, devil said. And, the devil said, pulling out both King Dice and Wynan near him, the ones with the ranking of Lords of Hell, right-hand man and his assistant, the devil said proudly, while Dice was blushing and Wynan was confused. Wait, I'm your assistant? Wynan said, confused. Devil nodded. Cool. Anonymous asked, for Dice, have you ever wondered if the reason you only see the devil staring back at you is because you're the one thing he desires? Answer, believe me, I don't see demon eyes to eyes, the Dice whispered to the Anonymous while looking at the devil and Wynan chatting together. Anonymous asked, do you guys celebrate Pride Month over there? Of course we do, the devil said, catching Mugman's attention. We do. We also have Wrath Month, Gluttony Month, Envy Month. Mugman's face changed into a deadpan expression while the devil continued. Greed Month, Sloth Month. Oh, you gotta make sure to get a stick out of Lust Month. The devil grinned. Mugman looked at him questioningly. Do you even know what they mean? Mugman asked. Of course I do. Do you know how many Dice X Devil fans there are? Devil said. Anonymous asked. Hey Devil and Wynan. Has any member of your family ever visited the casino? Answer 1. Has anyone who ever wanted to come here to have figured out to get out of the fiery pit of hell? So no, King Dice said, putting back on his coat. Answer 2. Oh, wait, I thought that was the Anonymous asked. Hold up, guys. Anyone in my family would have wanted to come here first. They would have to figure out how to get out of the fiery pit. So no, King Dice said, putting his coat back on. Answer 2. I mean, they literally want me in their life, so the ones who sold me in the first place, I'm glad they did. I didn't want to go back there. They literally gave me burn marks all over my body, and I still have it. Wynan said, annoyed. Hell, who knows where they are? Rather they're dead or alive. I do not care. I hope they're dead. Answer. Well, depends on what kind of family you mean. The devil scratched the back of his neck. As above, abandon. They come by a while sometimes, as to get me a few souls, but mostly just to pester me. They're along with a bunch of other princes will be coming over for the party that Dice and Lilith talked me into throwing, Devil said. Wait, so I'm going? Wynan said, popping out of nowhere. No, you're staying with cups and mugs for the night, Devil said. Okay then. Wynan left the room. Anonymous asked, Lilith, who works at your place? Answer. The devil chanted some sort of spell to summon Lilith. They want to talk to you, he told her. Oh, am I getting interviewed now? Lilith asked the devil. Apparently, the devil replied with a confused look. Well, move over, Prince of Darkness, she said. Already leaving, the devil said as he walked out of view. It depends on what place you're talking about. I own quite a few important princes of hell, you know. Lilith grins. I have a whole place, a range of demons working for me. Finest chef, witches, beautiful magicians, and dancers. Exotic if you prefer. She stuck her tongue out teasingly, as of course. hitman, slaves, assassins. I also keep a few debaters. You know, my little pets for fun. Basically what I own, but not as many, the devil said. Hey, Lilith glared. The door opened to see 𝐻𝐿 walking in with holding a paper. Hey, father, looking up to see Lilith. Lilith! 𝐻𝐿 yelled and hugged Lilith's arm, surprising her, and the devil soon turned over to see Lilith's arm, but it was 𝐻𝐿. Hi! 𝐻𝐿 said cutely. Did you miss me? Oh my god, tell me you miss me. 𝐻𝐿 said, making Lilith smirk. Nope, she teased back, ruffling 𝐻𝐿's hair. How could you never shown me that type of affection? The devil pointed at 𝐻𝐿 while Lilith stuck her tongue out. But do I? 𝐻𝐿 said, letting go of Lilith's arm, walking over to hug their arm. Aw, you're so sweet. Look at you too. The devil yelled. Hey! Anonymous asks. Cubros and 𝐻𝐿. If you have superpowers, what would it be? Anonymous asks. After I was disturbed. Cuphead and 𝐻𝐿. If you had superpowers, what would it be and why? At their brother's house with 𝐻𝐿. We did have superpowers, remember? The whole magical bullets coming out of our fingertips. Souls turning into huge wrestling machines and being able to come back to life? That's what we call magic, Cuphead said. I still have mine. Magic healing, that's what the devil gave me. And my wings, 𝐻𝐿 says. And why, Muggs, you're gonna do your whole thing, get into your notes and explain the... Cuphead was cut off by seeing Muggs doing some sort of chant while 𝐻𝐿 and Cuphead opened the door. Muggs stopped what he was doing and looked at the tube by his door frame. What you doing? 𝐻𝐿 asked him. Trying to summon agent spirits that will bring our powers back. Get out, Mugman yelled. Fine, okay. Cuphead proceeded to close the door. And knock before you enter, Mug said. Just tell them where we work. Just tell them where we work it, and they might scare him away, Cuphead said, looking back at him, and 𝐻𝐿 giving him a glare. Okay, Mugman said with Cuphead chuckling nervously. You know, flying would be a cool superpower, Cuphead said. Really? I'll go with whatever your favorite superpower is. Comment below. 𝐻𝐿 said, trying to give Cuphead a glare one more time, and went back to their room. Anonymous asks, Lilith, are you or were you married to Asmodeus? Give me a breast, meow, 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 meow. Show me some love, meow, 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 meow. To the ground, to the bus, to the czar we trust, in the house of Asmodeus. Meow, 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 meow. Trumpet solo. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, guys. I thought of Asmodeus from Hazbin Hotel. He's amazing. Answer. Lilith said in disgust. He witches, though. Though I did once trick him into believing we were, centuries ago. Still, sometimes he acts like we are. And won't leave me alone. He pesters me. He actually believes he was the one that tricked you, the devil said. Great. Lilith sighed. Anonymous asks, Devil, have you ever been in a limbo or purgatory or plan on going anytime soon? Answer. Of course I don't go there very often, but I do sometimes there are demons who work for me, the devil said. Though purgatory is mainly a battlefield for us, let's call it private family business, the devil said. But a religion of demons there sneak relatives of hell. The place is full of them. They're stalactite at most, and they hold a person's soul. But hey, a soul is a soul. I'll let you in on a little secret, though, the devil said. I have a brother who lives in limbo. He kind of owns the place. But don't worry, he doesn't mind me sneaking a few souls into my pocket. People think he's me, or he's dead. Granted, he did fake his own death, but no really, he's just hiding away in the non-existent attic of the universe. That limbo, or the one I'm talking about, I'm the only one of the people that knows that, though. Anonymous asks, this question is for the devil. If you were ever given the chance, would you go back to being an angel, like all your wrongdoings would be prohibited and forgiven, or would you not go back? Answer. Just in case. Oh my god, my phone's dirty. Special difficulties, guys. Okay, hold up. Alright, anyways, this question's for the devil. If you were ever given a chance, would you go back to being an angel, like all your wrongdoings would be prohibited
and forgiven. What do you go back? Considering, according to them, heaven, one of my wrongdoings was using my own head and refusing to be a puppet experiment. No, I don't want to go back. I've come to realize I would seriously rather rip my own brains out than go back to there. The devil said the last part menacingly. For King Dice, if your last name, what is your last name? And King is your first? Is Dice your last name and is King your first? I also see people call you Kingsley. Answer. Dice was leaning on the couch while Devil and Wynan sat up. There's people who call me that? Dice said with confusion. Wynan chuckled. Really? Kingsley? Wynan said, looking at Dice, who just shrugged. There are people who still call me Lucifer, Devil said. Anonymous asks, Hiya, Mr. Devil. I'd like to ask you a thing or two about your business practices. Mainly what the hell you're thinking by giving 2 soul contracts to people that they were bound to. What kind of system is that? Where do they even sign the contract? Can it be burned to avoid? Did you put any thought into it at all? Answer. Dice and Wynan just sighed while looking at the ground. Alright. Listen here, you nitwit, the devil said, looking like he was done with everything, making Wynan and Dice look at him. Those runaway traitors stole their contract, or hid and destroyed them. Can't destroy them. They couldn't, the devil said, pointing at the Anonymous. You want to know why? They can only be destroyed in what they're created for. By my fire, the devil said. By the time he said that, Cuphead came in. Devil and Dice and Wynan looked at him. Look, Cuphead, give me your lighter, the devil said. Why? Cuphead was cut off by the devil. I said, give me your lighter, the devil ordered. Okay, sheesh. Cuphead gave him the lighter and walked over to Wynan and snuck away from the devil and Dice to follow Cuphead. Look, it's not working. Why? Because it's mortal fire, the devil said, holding the contact in one hand and the other with the lighter. The devil said, burning the contact with his hand. But the devil realizes the contact had someone's signature or not. Dice, devil sweat dropped. Dice, I need you to tell me that contact I just burned was empty, the devil said, making Dice laugh. Psst. Dice, if that wasn't empty, I swear I'm going to start a riot, devil said while sweating a little. Ha! It was empty, don't worry, he said, laughing. Okay, good, the devil said in relief. Anonymous asks, for the devil, could you please enlighten us with Sally's stage play and rumor Honeybottoms won it that they made the contract? It was all pretend. She got to indulge in her fantasy life with him on stage. As soon as the curtain closed, that was it, the devil said. He and Mug sat on the couch in the lounge area. Well, joke's on you, he did fall in love with her in the end, and now they're married, Cuphead said, shuffling a deck of cards. Yeah, after breaking the deal, she signed on, the devil replied. But you don't hold your side of the deal either, Mug argued back. What am I going to do? Fix their hardships in life? Well, they were trying to twist it away. Rumors announced Cat stage play wanted to force someone into a relationship. That's kind of what you promised to do, since you changed the deal, but also people change and learn, Mug said. That's exactly why those deals do. They teach them a lesson, the devil smugged grimly. How are they supposed to learn a lesson if they're in hell? Oh, don't worry. They'll learn their lesson, and then they'll feel all guilty and shame and regret in the world, all while burning in hell. The two were silent for a bit before Mug spoke up. So you're not really making these deals just to teach anyone anything, you just wanted to torture people? He pointed a finger at him. I don't do these two things morally inclusive, and don't berate me. I'm not holding my side of the deal. When you and your brother didn't hold up either, you were supposed to give me contracts, Devil said while Mugman's sweat dropped. Okay, we had a good reason though, for doing a morally good reason, Mugman said. Morally, the Devil scoffed. They were breaking the rules for the greater good to save everyone from hell. So, you were breaking the rules to save everyone from the greater good. Yeah, we did, Mugman said, defeated. Well, what if they deserved hell? That's a different topic, Mug said, trying to defend himself. Ah, yes. The topic is right now. Is you two then attack me in order to get out of the debt that you were rightfully in, Devil said.
1. You attacked us, well, and challenged Cuphead, which is just asking for a fight. 2. You wanted people to go to hell, then morally bad intention, making you the villain, while we were morally good intentions of freeing people, which makes us the good guy. Mug was cut off by the devil. Actually, in that scenario, I simply wanted people to pay up their debts, which is normally natural if good intentions. Thus, I was not the villain, Devil said. A villain does not always need bad intention. Some villains don't think of themselves as bad, and that makes them a villain, Muggs explained. Yes, it does. Does that not make you the villain? You may have a good intention you saw as good, but actions include cheating on your deal, burning the contract, committing violence on other people, so you're not free of villain label either, the devil said. I agree, but we had to do all that in order, or at least I didn't enjoy it the slightest. We recognize our actions were wrong. Muggs tried to explain it, but got cut off again. Villains can recognize their actions and still commit them, Muggs, Devil said. Let me finish, demon. Your evaluation does not consider context a debt, and all the debt was rightfully deserved. Your debt was, the devil said, looking at Muggs. What this isn't about me. We're talking about the debtors, Muggs said. No. We're talking about you. No, cut off. Yes, you swarming. Dice, judge the offense. Is swarming. Devil yelled at Dice. I am not the office of defense. Sorry, guys. That was Mugman. I am not the office of defense. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Muggs, you're guilty. Sorry. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Muggs, you're guilty. King Dice said, slamming a hammer down while Cuphead and Wynan was confused. Of what? Muggs yelled. Wrongdoing, the devil said. After that, the devil was still bickering with Muggs, and Wynan and Cuphead and Dice all heard the saying, Do you want me to beat you again? Muggs threatened the devil, who is spit drunk. Meanwhile, with Dice and Cuphead, so much for being on the defense, King Dice said, continuing the card game. I am so confused, Cuphead said. Same, Wynan said. Special part. Antisocial axis. Hey, Wynan, how are you? Wynan was at the library with Muggs reading, and they look up at Antisocial 13. I'm fine. Thanks for asking, Wynan said. They patted their head. Fox wants an antisocial. Devil, can I work for you? Devil, can I work here? Answer. There's not enough room for hiring right now. Maybe Dice is their room to work at the casino? Devil said while looking at Dice, who was chatting with Wynan, but looked over at the devil. Guess we need more waiters, and I guess a chef. What do you ask, boss? Dice asked. Wynan nodded. Nothing. Thanks. If so, then come to my office, Devil said, walking out of the room. Antisocial. Cuphead, can I drink out of you? Cuphead looked weirded out. Yeah, I would too, buddy. No? Cuphead said, walking away and just going behind Wynan and Muggs, who just looked confused. Antisocial asks, I dare Mugman to ask out Keller Marie. Answer. Cuphead said with a blue blush coming on his face. Payback, Muggs, Wynan said while pushing him out of the casino, making Muggs panic. Wait, I'm not ready, Muggs said, trying to pull away from Wynan. Come on, bro, you got this, Cuphead said while laughing. No, Muggs said, holding onto a pole for dear life. Yes, come on, Muggs, Wynan yelled, trying to pull Muggs out of the pole, while in the background with Cuphead just sitting there watching the whole thing, but looked back at Antisocial 13. Sorry, mate, Cuphead said while walking away to help Muggs and Wynan. Fox had asked, Cuphead, are you gonna make a move on Wynan? I'm rooting for you. Cuphead room. Cuphead was laying on the side of the bed with Daisy. Cuphead blushed a bit. No, I don't know. I'm not good with flirting, or, I'm waiting for the perfect moment. Then I'll try to make a move on them. Cuphead said while looking at Daisy, who just gave a thumbs up. Thanks, buddy, Cuphead said. I like to think a lot of people like to make Cuphead either flirty, cocky, a smoker, a drinker, or he's just a weird little guy, which I kind of see that for Cups. Devil and Dice. Oh, sorry, Fox had asked, Devil and Dice, get married already. Answer. Wynan slammed their hands on the table, making Dice and Devil flinch for a second. Thank you! Wynan yelled. No, our relationship is strictly professional, Devil said with a blush on his cheeks, while Dice had the same but nodded. Oh, come on, Wynan said, putting their hands on their face. Chapter 23. Anonymous asks, Here's a question for the devil. Why do you make people bet their souls? What exactly is a soul worth? Does it give you more power or something? I just really want to know. Answer. A soul is a soul. Can be worth a lot. Here's what a soul is. But you know, I have another reason. Souls are really something, the devil said. I used to watch them being created. I used to watch him create them, he said with a demonic grin. I remember I used to try and create souls myself, and of course he didn't like it. I just wanted them all to see himself. He created them and released them into the world, and then got back. I thought if I could collect enough and drag him down here, maybe for once he would know what it's like to have something stolen from him. Devil said with a grin. Anonymous asks, Chips, you're pretty chill from what I've seen. What's something interesting about your past? What about you, Pierre? I know very little about you. Why is it that you and Skeleton when you used to be a fully fleshed out horse? Answer. You want something interesting about my past? Leaning on the counter, Chips chat the crew about his life. Well, I reckon I could tell you about how I was a booger living on a farm with my ma and 13 siblings. Or I could tell you about how I robbed a moving train on a horseback and returned to the same farm with enough gold to turn into a fortress. Cup slammed his head on the counter. Chip slammed his head on the counter. Or I could tell you about the time I fought off 7 men in a bar with the lass in one hand and a damsel in distress on the other. Cuphead stunned mouth gaped open, amazed by a story. Or the time I talked a bull into drinking poison. What'd I do if it would be worse? Or the time I stood the sheriff off in a duel in front of the town. Sipping off his drink, Chip stood up. Later that day, the Proust came looking for that idea. Sheriff downtown spoke who did it. They were afraid to spit it out. Spitting and sitting back down, one of the Titsy Tulips poured another glass for Chips. All they knew was that next time I stepped into the bar, they better have my drink and cigar ready on the counter. Chip said, He's so cool. Cub said with sparkling eyes, while Mugman crossed his arms and Winen was leaning on their face, bored, but still glancing at Cups. What about you, old horsey? Chip smirked at Pierre. What you doing back here? What did you do back in your day? Anonymous asks, Pure Lipa, how did you get in the casino? Well, Pure Lipa sighed. Back when I still had flesh amongst the other horses, we were athletes for rich fat cats to bet on, racing my family and in particular known for their winning stakes, Pure Lipa explained. I wasn't the fastest of the bunch. Everyone used to joke and call me a walking skeleton. I knew I wouldn't do that in races, and I always knew I wouldn't do well in races, and when no winning one. Dropping was common, in fact. It was the secret behind my family's success, so I played by the rules. The devil gave me a little something to help my enhancement, my strength and something else on the other. It was supposed to make them ill, but they took so much out of me. Desperation, it killed me. It killed them alive. I lived, but lost some weight. Yes, I'm alive. When I found out about that, I thought I would be distressed. I felt a bit sad. Severe, even. Because then a part of our deal, I went to work at the Devil's Casino and finally got to work on the peeve and the rich cats making the bets, Pure Lipa said. So hey, you should try a bit of poison yourself, cowboy. Pure Lipa loomed over Chips, intimidating him. The background in Mugs and Winen. Cuphead and Mugman and Winen was confused, also shocked about this. Mugs crossed his arms and Cuphead and Winen didn't know that their hands were together. What the? Mug said. That's super messed up. I'm out of here. Cuphead said, leaving, forgetting that he was still holding wine in hand, who was blushing a bit. Anonymous answer. Mugstein, first off, you seem like a cool guy. Keep being you. Second, how did you get your name? I believe that the Cub Bros and Winen mentioned that you were one of the many residents of Inkwell who used to be an inmint object. I recently learned that Mugstein is a fruit. Did you pick your own name? Thank you. I'll continue being me. And they're right, Mug said happily. In the background sat Chips, Cuphead, and Winen, who just chatted about anything. Long ago, I was just a regular, lifeless eighth ball. Then, in a moment of spectacular, non-existential magic phenomenon, I thought my first thought. Opened my new eyes, and the first thing I saw, a wild amongst the rest, a world unlike any other, that I could read for some reason, though I just spawned it into existence. I love the world, so much that I decided from now on then, it would be my name. Thus I became Mugstein!
Mangosteen. Mangs cheered while Wyatt and Cuphead looked. I was calling him Mugstein like half this video, but whatever. Just looking at Mugs with starry eyes. Wow, Cuphead said. Wow, Wyatt said. Inspiring, Chip said. I wasn't the only one either. I came to be alongside many others who I guess in a way was my siblings. I've been the oldest one since I grew up first, and soon I became big, so I had to leave the nest. I still hope that one day I might run into them and they're all grown up as well, and we'll catch up all those years we've been apart. I know I didn't come to be like most of the other people without a mom or dad. I still have a family, even though we weren't there for each other. That's where we were. Mangs continued, making Wine and Chips tear up, clapping. Should we tell him that he was probably the only one that came to life? Cuphead questioned. No. Let him have this. No. Sorry. Oh, thought that was Wayne. No. Let him have this. Chip said while Wayne nodded. Anonymous asked, Hey Devil, do you ever think about what would happen if Michael just showed up at the casino? Do you think the workers would end up getting in a fight with him? Answer, who's Michael? Cuphead asked, which freaked out the demons in the casino. Michael? First demon said, Michael where? Second demon yelled, Not him! The third demon panicked. I'm out, the fourth demon said. They all got up and ran away. Where's he? The fifth demon said, breaking away, guys. Please, I have a family. Sixth demon said, covering his face. Everyone in the casino started to panic, making a mess. Everybody shut up, Devil shouted until there was silence. Cuphead and Mugman were confused on why it started a ruckus over something. He's nobody, the Devil said to the retro, who didn't look convinced and just confused. Anonymous asked, Candice, you mentioned that you redecorate the casino to some extent. How did it look before? It looked fine. Candice cut him off. It looked terrible. It looked like the whole building was oppressed. It looked like someone was going to get sacrificed. And I get it. It's hell. But if you want to attract mortals to your place, take it from someone who lived his whole life with them. The place lacked any glam, any flair. It was just dark and still and uninviting. Candice laid on the Devil's chest on the couch. Yeah, like me, the Devil smirked. Exactly who wants that? Candice said, but the Devil frowned when he said that. Wait, I was kidding. I want you, Dice said, their fingers intertwined. Okay, Devil said, relieved, leaning their hands near each other. I saved your business, Dice said, leaning on the Devil's shoulder. Oh, no, you didn't, Devil said. Oh, yes, I did. Wynan overheard their flirting and popped up on the sofa while they were sitting. I knew you guys are my dad and father, but you guys getting married. This is just too cute. Wynan teased them. The Devil smirked, patting Wynan's head softly and smirked. Yeah, little star. Come here. Wynan lay down with them. They rested their head against Dice's chest, leaving all three of them cuddling with each other. I love you guys, Wynan says, taking a nap. Guys, 2 more chapters and we're literally almost done with the book. Anyways, Anonymous asks, does Mugman sometimes practice trying to confess to Calamari at home, like he talks to Daisy as practice? Psst, no, why would I do that? That's weird. Mug said with a blush on his face. Maybe, but he still talks a lot about her to Daisy. Cuphead said with a deadpan face, while Wynan nodded with a grin. No, I don't. Who told you that? I thought Daisy couldn't talk. Mug smiled with that part to himself. I can hear you if you're dealing like a speech, Wynan said while Cuphead nodded, looking Mugs and continued. Look, I'm sitting there minding my own business, and suddenly you pull a Shakespeare and you have another monologue. It's pathetic. You sound like a bootleg Romeo, Cuphead said, waving his 2 hands, making Mugs look like he wanted to burn himself, while Wynan shook their head. That's if you're seriously planning on axing her out, then Mugs. Brother, she's not gonna make it through your 6 paragraphs because she'll die of boredom, Cuphead said while Mugs rolled his eyes at his brother. Honestly, me and Wynan are ready to set you up 2 together if it means we won't have to hear another speech, Cuphead said, making Wynan nod. Wait, really? Mudman looked at Wynan and Cuphead to see if they were joking or not. I mean, we will. Stop it. Just to not get a pathetic speech. Yes! Mug was unsure of making Wynan smirk. Great, we'll organize the entire wedding. Wynan yelled, making Cuphead her arm raise up. Now, wait a minute, Mug said. Bonus. Kella, will you go out with me? Mugs asked.
Daisy was dressed as Kala to help Muggs, and they got no answer. One signed yes and the other signed no. Daisy held the sign up that said no. This isn't helping at all. Anonymous X. Pikachu, you're adorable. Pikachu was startled but was blushing yellow and carries on doing his own thing. Anonymous X. Cuphead Mugman whining, runs around and kisses cheeks and runs away. I have no regrets. Huh? What was that about? Cuphead said with a little blush on his face, while Mugman and Whinen was shocked and blushed a bit. Antisocial gave a red rose. I hope you like it. Oh, thank you so much, Whinen said with a smile. And Cuphead was jealous, glaring at them. Anonymous X. I would like to ask 2 questions, if possible. First, one is to the devil. How did Candy and Hilda end up selling their souls to you? For coronation, before the deal, he was just a regular little flower, no higher than a knee length. Because of that, he was often picked on and attacked by woodland creatures. One day he had enough of that and decided to make a deal, so that he would become, and I quote, as big and as strong as the demons that work for you. So then he snapped. He became one of the most feared creatures of the woods. Devil explained the story to Cadney. As for Hilda Berg, she used to be a pilot, but was in a car accident. How does a pilot get in a car accident? Anyways, she used to be a pilot, but was in a crash accident that crippled her body and ended up flying her center. So she made a deal with it so that I, and I quote, fix me and get me back into the sky no matter what. She didn't specify how, so I decided to get a bit creative. I fixed her body by giving her some robotic enhancements that allow her to take the sky of a moon. I think that's into the sky. Besides, it was worth the island's reaction to see 2 moons, of one which being bloody red, the devil said. So that's what happened, he shrugged. Except for the part where they held up their side of the deal and gave their souls because of we know who! That's what you get for taking advantage of people in need, Mugman said. Cuphead shrugged and Whinen just laying on Cuphead's shoulder. Me taking a bit, the devil said, holding up his chest. As if I would ever... He scoffled. Anonymous asked, hey devil, why did some of the other workers like Chips, the Tootsie Tulips, Perlita make a deal for? And who didn't make a deal and just came for a job like Muggs and Cuphead? Hey devil, can you tell us what everyone did to end up in the casino? Answer. They all made deals that required giving their souls in solitude to me. In return, I would grant them a favor, the devil said, leaning his head on the couch. For Wheezy, I got him off the streets, out of a debt. Mugman and Whinen enjoyed in. For Chips, I helped him put a rivalry sheriff into the ground. Pierre, I provided him with the drug to help him with his races. Perlita was on the run and needed security for Pip and Dot. Hocus, I helped him escape from a traveling freak show. For the Tulip, I forever cured them for alcohol poisoning. With Mugstain, we made a bet on his future vision and he lost, Devil explained. What was the bet? Bugman asked. I asked him what happened tomorrow at exactly noon. He said he'll be relaxing at a park and he was a minute before noon. And a minute later, I came in through a portal and pulled him into hell. Wait, what? Mugman said, but the devil cut him off before pointing a finger at Devil. For Muggs put a finger at Devil. Hey, that's not fair. You know what? That's not how that work. The devil raised his tail up to Muggs' lips, shutting him off. Shh, he's too dumb to question it. Besides, I control the very existence of fate, he grinned. Moving on, Mr. Chimes didn't exactly make any deals or bet, but I gave him life, so he stayed with me, Devil says. Wow, you bought him the life? Cuphead said, butting in on the conversation. Yeah, once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was a spoiled brat who was mean to everyone, didn't have any friends, so she did whatever a girl would do. Perform an incident, scientific ritual, and give me a call. She asked for a friend who would obey her, so I brought her toys to life, including a little monkey plush with cannabis attracted in hands. After the girl died, the monkey just stuck around. What happened to the girl? Mugman asked. The little monkey crushed her head with its cymbals. Oh. That's beautiful, Katie. Murder, hello. He smirked with the 3 of them looking terrified at Mr. Chimes, who turned his head looking at them with a smiling, creepy face. What about Pecha Pecha? Mug asked. Devil questions. Drinking, who? Pikachu, Whinen asked as their head turned out. Oh, right, he thinks. I forgot. They both stared at him blankly. Anonymous asks. Mugman and Cuphead, what was your training like to become waiters at the casino? Answer. Just the standard kitchen and how to talk to customers, though Whinen sometimes help us until we're able to do it ourselves. without their help. So, thank YNN, Mugman said, collecting cups from the table while smiling at YNN, who smiled back. I'm just doing what my dad told me to do, but I'm happy to help anyway. Any way I can, YNN replied. I think that was our fight with Dice, and Devil was our training, Cuphead said. Alright guys, we're on our last chapter of the book. Let's finish it off. Anonymous asks, hell of a Devil Dice questions. Psst, Devil tried to hold in his laughter. Our relationship is strictly professional, King Dice said, smiling till the Devil burst out laughing. Obviously, Dice continued, both laying on the couch with YNN beside them, who just woken up from their nap. Should we say it? King Dice said. Say what? Devil replied. How you know? Well, I'm only using you to take your money and power, using your lack of understanding against you to manipulate you and take over the throne and entirely of hell, Dice said. Oh, and I'm using you for my own gain, desire, business, tricking you into thinking you're something greater than a tempted mortal, Devil said. They both looked at each other for a while until they started laughing again. Or maybe tell them I'm using both of you for money and power to rule over hell and earth, eventually leave you two in the gutter, maybe try to kill all of you because you're all stupid. YNN smiled shyly. They were all silent for a moment and Devil spoke up. Okay. Let me start that over because that was half a Devil's voice and I wasn't sure who it was. Or maybe tell them I'm using both of you for money, power, and to rule over hell and earth, eventually leave you two in the gutter and maybe try to kill all of you because you guys are all stupid. YNN smiled innocently. They awoke all silent for a moment until the Devil spoke up. That's my star. He grinned while Dice nodded and hugged you. But language. Anonymous asks, for Devil and Dice, does anyone let a know about your love secret? Answer. Here's the thing, they probably see it. We give up on hiding it, Dice said. In the casino anyway. Why hide a professional relationship? Devil added. But no one believes it. I'm tired of you guys saying it's a professional relationship, YNN says, glaring at their pants. That's because it is, the Devil replied. Anyways, that I can be in a relationship unless it translates because, you know, Satan has no feelings. Blah, blah, blah. Same to you, Devil said. Yeah, because I'm a cheating con man who can't dedicate to anyone, King Dice said. Well, to me, you both are the best parents I could ever ask for, and I don't care what people say, YNN says. Oh, why is that, the Devil say. You guys are the reason I kept living to this day, since, you know, my parents weren't great, but you guys helped me in every way. Thank you. They YNN smiled, which made Devil blush at cuteness. Can we get a hug? Can we give a hug? They blurred out, which made YNN surprised by sudden. Oh, okay, they said confusingly, but they bring out their arms, accept the hug. Dice and Devil bringing YNN to their arms with them, and surprised to calm down and accept it. Mr. Dice, how do you usually relax after a long or rough day at the casino? Answer. Like this, Dice said, napping on top of Devil's chest while YNN sleep on Dice's chest on the couch. Anonymous asks, hey Cut Bros, do you ever think about using your straws as weapons? At the Cut Bros apartment. YNN was hanging out at the Cut Bros apartment. They sat on the couch with Cuphead and a sleeping Daisy on the lap, using Cuphead's coat as a blanket, snuggling warm. We did. We used to buy Whitstone from Pork Rind to turn our straws into axes, Cuphead said, strangling his straw around like he was wielding an axe. And I guess you would axe the enemy. Cuphead said, joking, making YNN giggle a bit. Yeah, debater. That was also when we were collecting souls. He placed his straw back on his head while looking at YNN, who was just petting Daisy, softly minding their own business. For Cuphead, he was just admitting YNN was a bit blushed. He was admiring YNN with a bit blush on his face. In Mug's own room. I wonder if the axe was the only choice. Maybe I could turn into an actual sword, Mugman said, holding on his straw. Anonymous asks, okay, last question, I swear. If you were ever visit the cottage or no? How's Mugs with his history study? Flipping through his books. No, we don't have the time. Regularly visit since it's all the way on the other side of the aisles. And the research is slow to say the least. The library happens to have a little thing on the aisle background as I keep a sidetrack on the aisles. Hardly hearing anything unbelievable, Muggs said without frustration. Anonymous. Hey Muggs, I have a hypothesis on the strange language you found. As 𝐏𝐀𝐑𝐓-𝟐 in general, I think this secret society moved through Greece at some point, and here's why one of the symbols look like the symbols for Omega, other possible Kippy and the Zippy, and as we say. Answer. Mugman. Looking like he just woke up. Yeah. Good hypothesis. I think looking into that is reasonable, but it's not Greek mythology exactly. It's the exact era of the Muslims. It's a part of Asian history, and then suddenly Middle Ages. Either way, I'll keep in mind in the meantime. I'm heading to the library, probably look into some new findings. Thank you, I'll probably need it. Mugman changed out of his sleepwear and packed some of his stuff into a bag. He looked beside him to see Cuphead and Whinen and Daisy sleeping together on the couch. He took a quick photo of them before he left. Blackmail for Cuphead.